Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Reverend Sylvester Hampton. Once again, welcome to my channel, One Man of God Unfiltered. I am here today to talk about a subject that we're all going to have to go through. It is going to be dealing with when we lose a loved one. I have experienced death in my family, and we come to a part where sometimes when death occurs, when it's a parent or any loved one, the children of the loved ones sometimes get to a point where they have a big argument and a rift occurs between when you lose a parent or someone that's close. The children bicker amongst one another and stuff like that. And the person that was the primary care provider for the loved one is the person that is the target of hatred, because they are the most evil person in the world. And they are accused of being the biggest thieves in the world because they are accused of stealing everything that loved one has, and they are in a lot of times being accused of doing a lot of stuff, shady stuff, taking advantage of that loved one that they took and that they were taking care of. This lesson is going to be entitled "After the Death of a Loved One," speaking from a caregiver perspective. Speaking at a caregiver's perspective, talking about the death of a loved one. Me being a caregiver for my mother, you're thrust into that environment as a caregiver, especially when the loved one was full of life, and being the caregiver of a parent, you are now in a particular position that you are taking care of your mother or father, and you are for the very first time, you're in charge. You're in charge of a person that used to tell you what to do, and it takes a while to understand that you're dealing with a child. You have to look at it from that perspective, because especially depending on the level that they are, if they reach the level that they are experiencing Alzheimer's, that is a terrible position to be in, because they've reached that age that they're gone to their second childhood. The Bible says that we are a man once and a baby twice. Man once, baby twice. And there was this fable, African fable that was called Every Man. Every Man dealt with a fable where you have to learn, you have to be very mindful because of how you raise your children, because how you raise your children, you're going to end up being their child, which means that if you raise your children to be hateful and to be bad, don't worry, you're going to be put in the hands of them when you get old, and they're going to remember you because you're going to be put in their hands as a child, which means that when you get old, you're going to be in your second childhood, and they're going to be in charge of you. That's what the fable talked about. You're a man once and a baby twice. So when your parent gets to that point and you have a family and you now have to take care of your parent. And if you have siblings, you ask for your siblings to help you out, but they're nowhere to be found. They're always gone and not trying to help you out. So all the burden is on you. Now, there are some cases where a relative will call you up and say, "Hey, look, your mom and dad need you. The police department called me, or the social worker called me. Your mom can't be by herself because she was wandering in the street. Police came, got her. Now you got to take care of her." So you're thrust in that. But they called your mama. They called all the kids at the same time, but you're the only one that answered the phone. So now you're the one that's responsible for taking care of them. You're calling all your brothers and sisters, but you're stuck with the situation. Now, this is a tough job, taking care of a parent that is reached the age where they are experiencing Alzheimer's from a caregiver perspective, especially if they have a house or had a house that they can no longer live in by themselves. You try everything you can to have them live where they are because you have a responsibility of your family. But now you have a responsibility of your parent. Okay? And now you're the primary caregiver to your parent. That's tough. With no help from none of your brothers and sisters. They are all missing in action. But all of them have an opinion on how you're doing. What kind of job you're doing, whether it's good or bad. They're ones that come by, drive by with all kinds of criticism, giving you opinions about what kind of job you're doing, or giving you their opinions about whether you're doing a good job or bad job, but yet none of them are helping you out. I got relatives like that, so I know what I'm talking about. So what happens is you have relatives like that are drive by that don't help out. So you are here taken care of as a caregiver to your mom, dad, or aunt or uncle. Here you are. This is a tough job. Now, you may be fortunate enough to get an outside person to help you out, a caregiver to help you out that is going to be paid for by the state, or a health plan that will give you the ability to have a person to help you out. Okay, a caregiver to help you out, but that's not around the clock. That's probably maybe about 3 or 4 hours a day. But for the most part, you are the one. Now, it is hard. All the possessions that she has, her retirement and everything's never going to be enough, because now she's boosted into a situation where she's got medication, she's got to take depends on, she or he is got to be she depends, all kinds of stuff, special meals and everything. You got to do all those kind of things, and it takes money. And her retirement or a pension don't cover that, so that means that you got to take it out of your pocket, or you're going to have to sell off some of her possessions, some of her stuff. So you got to do what you got to do. Now, here's the kicker. You're going to have relatives that remember how her house was. And they're going to say, "Oh, Mama used to have a big big china cabinet with all these chinas, and she had a bunch of house furs and clothes and everything. I remember that. She had fancy furniture and everything in her house. You may have to sell that stuff because her pension is not enough. And you have a responsibility for your family. So you might have to liquidate a lot of that stuff. You got to take it upon yourself to do that. But your relatives that didn't give a doggone about it, that's not trying to help you out, you got to do what you got to do. But you do it because you got to do it. Now, those relatives that didn't try to help you out, you ask them, hey, look, I've been with mom all this time. Could you give me a weekend? Could you come by and could you stay with mom? She's at my house. Could you take her to your house and could you keep her for the weekend? I'll show you all the stuff that you need to do. Could you just keep her for the weekend? I got the food. I got a special diet for her and everything. I got her Meals on Wheels and everything. Could you just keep her for the weekend for me and give me a break? Or at a minimum, could you just come by and just sit with her for 4 hours, maybe about 2 or 3 days out of the week so I can have a break? Silence. Missing in action. They don't do it. So, you're on your own. Or, this is what they'll do on the weekend. Sure, I'll help you out on the weekend. Sure, next weekend I'll do that. I'll come. I'll come get her. Okay. Let me know. I'll have her ready on Friday morning. I'll have her ready, or I'll have her ready after you get off from work. You get off from work at 4 o'clock. I'll have her ready by 4:30. Okay. On Friday. Okay, I'll come pick her up after work. 4:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. No call, no show. They come Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Come by. Just show up. Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And they're there to pick her up. And they'll tell you that, oh, I got to bring her back by Sunday afternoon at 3 because I got to be to work early Monday morning. So they pick her up at 3 o'clock Saturday, but they got to be back to, they got to bring her back by 3 o'clock Sunday. So you didn't have a whole weekend. That's their help for the weekend. Or what they will do is they won't call you and you calling them on from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they won't answer the phone. You can't get in contact with them. So they come on Sunday after church and say, okay, we had something come up. Well, why didn't you call me? I'm sorry, something came up. I was so busy, and then so we'll pick her up. Oh, by the way, I can't take her to my house. We're gonna have to we'll spend the night at your house. That's they're giving you a break for the weekend. That's the kind of stuff that they'll do. Give you a break for the weekend. Okay, so. Here you are now. How in the world are you going to make plans? You made plans. How in the world can you make plans for the weekend? You've already called the hotel room and made reservations for the hotel room. So now your deposit's just forfeited. You made a plans for Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, and then check out on Sunday evening. So you have a weekend, or Monday morning. Your weekend's blown. So now you know better not to do that, because you can't make plans because they will mess you up. because you've already did that, thinking that they're going to keep their word. And these same people, your relatives, your brothers and sisters, have screwed you all the time. You don't get a break. You don't. These are your brothers and sisters that says that always got an opinion. They don't help you out with mom or dad. Okay? And but they're always criticizing. Now, here's the kicker. When it comes time for, say for example, them coming to visit you. They come to visit. And if you're married with children, you fix dinner for mom. You may have to fix 2 separate dinners because mom can't eat what you eat, or dad can't eat what you eat because he's on a special diet. So you're fixing 2 different meals. But yet they're dropping over to your house and they're asking what you got to cook. And they're going to eat what you got to cook. They're eating, visiting the mom, and leaving. They're never going to bring any groceries. They're never going to leave any money. They're eating and leaving. And they're calling that a visit with mom. They're never going to do anything. Oh, they may bring her a hamburger or a hot dog or something like that. Something that she can't eat. Or he can't eat. That's against his diet. They're never going to bring you any money to assist you in his upkeep. Okay? They're never going to just sit and come to you and say, hey, look, I got a few days off. Can I just, you need me to come pick mom and dad up and they can stay a couple of days with me. I got a teenage son. Let me have my teenage son stay with mom and dad. They can come over and stay with me for a few days. I know you need a break. You need to go to church. We'll have somebody stay with her while you're in church. They may do that because that's only about 2 hours. Because those heathens don't go to church. And if they do come over to so that you get ready for church, they're not going to come ahead of time so you can get dressed to go to church. So you're going to have to do that while in the meantime, hurry up and get dressed. That's how it goes. Amen? That's how it goes. Now, here's the kicker. When it comes time to give you a break, that's out of the picture. When it comes time, when death comes to your loved ones, oh, they're the first ones to be crying all over the place and falling all out and everything. You can't shed a tear because you know that you've done everything you can do. You don't have enough room for it. Because they weren't there when you're the single target that mom or dad used to cuss you out and swing at you, and you were their single target that they used to rebel against because you all they had. You were the target that they used that they were frustrated because they had frustration. They were frustrated. Because they're used to being in charge. Now all of a sudden you're telling them no because you had to, because you're dealing with another child. You have to take charge. But your sister that did not try to help you out don't understand that. They will come visit and say, Mom, what you want to eat? Mom will say, oh, I want me a hamburger and French fries. So they'll go and get a hamburger and french fries, knowing that she can't eat hamburger and french fries because that's not her part of her diet. Too greasy. And so when they bring hamburger and french fries, you tell them that she can't have that. So they think that you're the most evil person in the world. They don't understand. That's not, she can't eat that. She's going to ask for a hamburger and french fries, and she's going to cry like a child that she wants hamburgers and french fries, and because they're going to look at you as the boogeyman. Mom wants hamburger and french fries. You can't, you not letting her have hamburger and french fries. Okay, she's going to have hamburger and french fries, and that's going to run through her system, and she's going to have the runs all night long. But who's going to be cleaning it up? You. They don't understand that. That's going to make her not sleep at night. They don't understand that. You, as the primary, you got to take care of all that. All they can do is be the good guy and give her what she wants because that's what she said. And they don't understand that she's in his second childhood. You're the primary care provider. You're the bad guy. They don't understand that. Now, when death comes, here's the kicker. When death comes, they're going to be crying all over the place, going to the funeral home and saying, Mom, they don't understand that you were taking care of Mom business and everything. And Mom, if she had an insurance plan, the insurance plan didn't cover the whole, it's not going to cover the whole thing. So you're going to have to dip into your payments, some of your pay, borrow some money because you can't get any money from them because they weren't there in the first place. So you might have to liquidate some of her possessions. Or you knew that her insurance plan wasn't going to cover everything, so you started liquidating her possessions from the start to cover. But your sisters and brothers don't understand that. They don't. All they want to do is come to the funeral, and then they all crying and everything, and they say, and then they want to make plans. Mom needs to have the best casket. They want to put all the money in the ground, and she can't afford that. Mom deserves the best, or Dad deserves the best. And they make all these plans. Wait a minute, time out. How much money are you putting towards this? I don't know. I can pay on it. Heathens. Everybody's got, all the heathens come out of the woodwork. Heathens. Everybody's got heathens in their family. They want to make plans, but they didn't help out when you wanted to help out when she was alive or he was alive. Now all of a sudden they want to help out with the spending who they think should have the money. And then after the money is spent, then when the will is now being read, they want to know, okay, what do I get? Am I in the will? Mom had all this money and everything. Everybody's a millionaire. Mom didn't have a doggone thing. Mom was destitute. Her dad was destitute. But you kept them. And what little they had, you had to liquidate. But those relatives that didn't help you out, They're coming out of the woodwork thinking that they're coming for a big payday. And if there's no big payday, they swear you stole everything. The caregiver stole everything. What happened to mama's dad's house? You're a thief. Short sale. You sold mom and dad's house? Where's the money at? Well, the money that I stole mom and dad's house, I had to sell it as quick as I can, a quick sale, because I had to feed her. I had to pay the bills, her debt that they left. I had to take care of some things. And I had to have enough to bury her or him. You didn't help. I couldn't talk to you because you won't answer the phone. Now I'm the bad guy. I did what I was supposed to do. Now you want to take me to court and saying that I took advantage of mama or daddy. That I stole from them. Please. Please. I don't want to hear it. I did the best I know how. I had a family. My husband or wife stuck with me. I had to sacrifice my time with my husband or wife to take care of my mama or daddy. It's and Lord, maybe my husband or wife left me. Now I'm by myself because I didn't have any help from any of my brothers or sisters to help out with my mama or daddy. And now I'm divorced. My husband or wife left me. And where were you? And now you want to take me to court and get me arrested because you think that I took advantage of it? Of her? Or him? As the primary? You didn't even answer the phone. Them people were calling you. So I don't want to hear it. Now all of a sudden you want to know where all her fur coats were and all her fashions and all the furniture and where all her collections of Barbie dolls collections and all her fancy stuff was. I had to liquidate that stuff. The best I know how to take care of her. There was no income coming in. I don't want to hear it. You didn't want to know anything. You didn't even help me out. I lost my family because of you. Now all of a sudden you coming to me asking me where all the money at. And looking at me like I stole something from my mama or daddy. No. I did the best I know how. I sacrificed a lot. And wondering why in the world I couldn't shed a tear during at the homegoing service. And you up there crying like crazy because you didn't do a doggone thing. I don't want to hear it. And you want to take me and sue me because you're saying that I stole everything from my mama or daddy. No, I didn't. You didn't help out. Nah, I did the best I know how. I lost my family taking care of my mama and daddy, and I didn't have no help from you. None. You my sister, you my brother, you my oldest sister, you my oldest brother. That should have been your responsibility. You didn't answer the phone. Out of sight, out of mind. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Shame on you. And all you could do is get angry at me and ask me where's gun collection, what happened to all his fishing gear, what happened to his boat, what happened to this or what happened to that. That's all you worried about. You didn't worry about him. Could you help me out with him at all? You didn't worry about nothing. You couldn't even give me a break. You couldn't even give me 5 hours to myself. It was hard. That is what's going on. And that is what we need to talk about from a perspective of a primary care provider and his family. The primary care provider does what they have to do. And usually a family don't even care about that. The only thing they do is after death, they're coming with their hand out. And usually they don't even know what flavor the Kool-Aid is. They think that that the person that passed away, the mom or dad or relative that passed away, they think that they're coming into a windfall of fortune, and they're coming with their hand out. And if they don't have a windfall, they'll swear that the primary care provider stole everything, taking advantage of the senior citizen. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Amen. I just want you to know that from a perspective of a home primary care provider, it's tough. It's tough. There are 3 people that are unsung at a homegoing service. That is usually the wife or the spouse of the primary care provider, because the primary care provider needs a helper or someone to lean on, and that's usually a husband or wife. And there's probably a non-relative that is work for the state or work for a health care company that is a provider for the decedent, and they spend some time with them too. They don't see what you've been doing behind the scene. They don't see the washing. They don't see you cleaning that person up. They don't see the changing of the Pampers or the changing of the Depends. They don't see the feces that you got to clean up. They don't see none of that. All they see is that when they visit, that person's cleaned up. They don't see the cussing out. They don't see them throwing stuff around, the temper tantrums. They don't see that. They don't see them striking you in the face when they want to strike you in the face. They don't see that. They don't see them cussing you out. They don't see that. But I want you to know that I know. I know. And on behalf of them, I want to let you know that I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Job well done. A job well done. I want you to know that there's somebody out here that knows the hell that you're going through. And I want you to know that there's somebody that's out here that knows that you have and will be blessed. And to your spouse or your girlfriend or your loved one that's standing next to you, I want you to know that I thank you. I thank you for standing next to that person and standing with that person, because it is a tough job, a tough thing to do, and you've been through some hell. I want you to know that. And to that healthcare provider, fine job. You will be truly blessed. Amen. This is dedicated to you and dedicated to letting you know that I love you. I love you. And I thank you for everything that you've done for that loved one that's passed away on his or her behalf. Thank you. Thank you. To the healthcare or primary care provider, I hope that I spoke and said the things that you want to say, and I hope that for you relatives that thought that negative stuff, I hope that you have gotten a perspective that you never thought about. And you owe that primary care provider, that loved one of yours, an apology. You owe them an apology. Give them a hug and say, I apologize, because after looking at this thing with this preacher, I want to apologize. I never thought about that. I want to thank you. And I'm sorry for my doing what I did. That was insensitive of me, and I apologize. I just didn't know. If I had the chance to do it all over again, I would be a lot different. But I apologize. I thank you for what you did. And I foolishly got the flag because I was the oldest. You deserve the flag. I'm going to go home and give you that flag because you deserve it. I'm going to bring that flag to you. Thank you for what you've done for mom or dad. Amen. I want you to know that I'm going to continue to be on the battlefield for the family. I'm going to continue to be here for the men. And this is Reverend Sylvester Hampton, one man of God unfiltered. And I'm going to continue to be here for you. And until the next time, bye-bye. Love you.